I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Look at the state of this. It's been a while. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Right, so it's been a minute since we done a Mk1 Fiesta video and we haven't actually done too much on it. However, the other day I did have to format my SD card because something went wrong with it. I only lost a little bit of footage from the ST videos, which didn't really matter, but I did actually lose a slight bit of Mk1 footage as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go and show you what you've missed, but it isn't too much at all, so don't worry. So the first thing we removed was the brake master cylinder, and that was really easy, just two 13s and like a clip on the pedal. Not too hard at all, but as I have said, we lost the footage. And the other big thing we done is welding, or half welding, this engine mount plate. Dad did actually have a go at this in the end, and I don't think he's done a bad job at all. Still needs cleaning up on some of the welds, and he did blow through here, but for someone who's never welded before, I think he's done a good job. Now you're probably wondering what's on the cards for today's video. So we're actually going to make some plates up for the rest of the engine mount, just so it's completely solid, and we're also going to rectify the hole that Dad blew in the strut tower by removing the strut, so then we can get to the back of the hole. So just some finishing touches really. There's the big one at the front, and also going to make that small little plate to go in the back of there and remove the strut. So yeah, all systems go today. So without further ado, let's crack on with this video. So if people remember when we lowered the Mk1 Fiesta back down on the ground to see how it all fitted and make sure it was level, we only put the track rod ends in with a couple of threads on that nut. And also the bottom ball joints only just in with a couple of threads, so the only thing we're actually going to have to do is take off these carrier bolts that hold the caliper and carrier on, and then the strut bolts that bolt onto the hub. Right, so for the carrier bolts, they're just two 17mm bolts, nice and easy. I've already cracked these off. Right, they're just finger tight now, so that should be coming off in a sec. Right, there we go. We're going to put it through there, yeah? Right on it? Yeah. Can't remember the size of these, but it don't really matter. I'll mention them when we do it back up again. There you go. Right, so these just 13s at the top. We're going to take the strut and the hub out as one. It's really loose. Go. As you can see, we've got so much more room here now. You can see where Dad's been welding, and we can see that little hole, so we can get a nice bit of metal and patch that up. Just a quick one with this area. Dad's going to grind quite a bit of this back, and then we're just going to underseal it when it comes to it, but yeah, looks good. Dad's just going to go ahead and clean this bit up, and then we can make that little plate. Dad's also picked up some of these magnetic, what do you call them? They're called magnetic holders. You see loads of welders using them. It's just really nice to have these when welding bits of metal on. Yeah, it's like another set of hands, Dad says. So yeah, got two of them. Sure they'll come in handy. That's the plate all lined up now. Dad's just going to follow where the two bits of metal sit together, but that's looking really good. As you can see, the magnetic holder doing what it says on the packet. So I think Dad's getting the hang of this welding malarkey now. That's just tacked in. It's not perfect, he's not a welder, but I think it looks wicked. So while that section cools down, we're going to start to make them cardboard template cutouts for the engine mount plate that I showed at the start of the video. Also, one good thing is you can see the penetration from this side, so yeah, that's a good sign. Alright, so we're just about to measure up this template. So just cut the angle down there. We'll get that cut out. So I think we're quite happy with that cardboard template. So we got one of the plates made up, just perfected it and tweaked it a little bit, but it does sit in there really nicely. Next up, there's just a small little hole right at the back here. It's quite hard to record, but if we go out here, Dad's already marked a little cardboard template out, and he's going to cut that out now. So we've made a few final last tweaks to the front plate. Yeah, this is looking really good, so Dad's just going to go ahead and tack this in now. So I haven't actually managed to get a picture of this properly, but that down there is the little section that Dad's trying to weld in now. Really hard to record that, but I'll get a close up once he's welded it in, or tacked it in rather.
24 hours later.
Firstly, just want to give a massive shout out to a bloke called Tom Butcher, because really weird situation. He's actually got the same Fiesta as me, Mk2 in maritime blue, that he's currently restoring, and he only lives about 20 minutes from me, so yeah, proper weird coincidence. Anyway, he got in contact with me and said he had some gas bottles laying around that he doesn't use anymore, so I really appreciate that, mate. Here are the bottles here, exactly what we were using, argon and CO2 mix. So yeah, massive thank you to you, mate, once again. So Dad's spent his money on some cheap nasty goggles from China, so he can now see when he's welding. I did actually put a picture out on social media of this plate that we welded in, and quite a few lovely people let me know that that's actually gasless welding, and we realised towards the end of the last time we were out here that the gas was running out, so we will be going over the top of them with our fresh gas. Dad's going to grind them welds back, tidy up a bit of this and try and get it into a reasonable state, ready for us to put some seam sealer and then eventually some red paint on. Dad's just welded in that plate now. It's not the best welding, but it's certainly not the worst either. Really happy with that. You can see the penetration, and the fact that we've now got gas looks good. So yeah, Dad's going to grind that down, and he's also going to tidy up this top bit as well. Just a little update, looking really nice and tidy. That top bit's coming along well as well. Also, I'm not quite sure if I recorded this or not the other day when we were out here, but Dad has tacked in that back little plate. It's only very small, but yeah, it's looking good. Should be able to get this in primer soon. Just quickly nipped out and got Dad a set of new drill bits. As you can see, these bits will now be able to get right into them welds. He's managed to flatten down pretty much everything else, looking really good. So Dad's just welded in that plate under there, nice little small one, and yeah, looks all good. He's also put some more tacks on the top here, just filling in some small bits, doing some sort of final touches. He's going to grind them back now, and then we'll see how it's looking. All we're going to do now is, if you remember, before we took the old engine mount plate off, which held in the 950 engine, there was some seam sealer running along here. You can actually see the original stuff there, so we're going to replace that now. We're going to leave these welds here and along the sides, just for a little bit of a precaution for when we do get the car up and running. We don't want to whack a load of seam sealer or filler over the welds and it crack, so we want to just leave them with just the welds and the paint on them, so then we can see if anything happens when we start running the engine. This is the seam sealer that we've got. You just whack it on with a brush. It's from eBay, so yeah, we're going to give this a go. It's very hard to see the back plate, but he's just going to put some seam sealer on there as well. All this is really doing is just protecting our welds and neatening it up a little bit. Right, so Dad's just put the seam sealer on, and it looks really good. We didn't aim for perfection because, as you can see just down here, the factory seam sealer isn't too neat anyway, so yeah, happy with that. All we're going to do now is there's a few little bits up here where Dad's been welding, got a few little gaps in the welds really, nothing major, but he's just going to whack a thin layer of filler over that. Bit of P38. Right, we're just going to let that all set for about an hour or so, then we'll get it primered up.
24 hours later.
So it is actually another day. You'll probably see a change of clothes when we get a bit further into these few clips, but we put that bit of filler and the seam sealer on yesterday. Dad's just going to start to rub that down, and then we can finally get some primer on this area. So well. So that's how we're leaving it for this evening. We don't normally come out here after work, but we have done today and we will be tomorrow. So I think that's all we're going to be able to cram into this week's episode on the Mk1 Fiesta. Dad still needs to put a couple more coats of primer on this before the red, but don't worry, we'll be recording all of that in the next episode, along with boxing up this section. We need to make up plates for these three sides, weld them in, grind them down, primer and red them as well, and then just maybe we'll get the engine in, but that's all for next time. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode on the Mk1 Fiesta ST170 build. I know it's been a little while, but we're just slowly, bit by bit, building the Mk1 up. Support on the channel has been really good recently, and we're about 250 subscribers from that 2k mark now, so hopefully we'll be able to hit that soon with another giveaway in store for you guys. If you did enjoy the video, give it a like. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel to see more. And until the next one, I'll see you guys later.
Bleep.
Right, so for the... I need to do it again. Right. Right, so for the carrier bolts, it's just two 17mm.
16s, bleep. Fucking hell. They're 16s.
They're 17s.
Oh, alright, bleep.
Fuck me, this is going in the bloopers. Why does my mind go blank? What's it called, Dad?
loose.